Overrated Experience Sports and Sports Betting Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Blondin. We're back for another week of sports betting action. Ideally, though, we're looking at the NFL and Week 12. We're back and we're joined from...
Awesome from Ajax, baby.
We can't get rid of him. He keeps showing up. He's here and he's ready to play some... pick your teams. I don't know, just made that up. He's going to be picking against the spread, over-unders, and also he's going to follow us, just like you should, on X at Overrated EXPER2. That's Overrated EXPER2 to follow the Overrated Experience Sports and Sports Betting Podcast. Also, Overrated Experience if you want to follow us on Instagram. Austin, what's going on?
Not much. Excited to get into some more football.
What, last week, I'm going to go into right to our records. I'm ashamed. I'm disgusted. I just feel like I should just cancel this podcast immediately. It was so bad. So if we look back at the 13 plays we had last week, I was 3 of 13. Disgusting, deplorable. I should be sent away to a boot camp of some sort. You were 6 of 13, a little more respectable. But my 3 of 13 is absolutely horrible.
Coming back in a big way this week.
Let's hope, because people are listening. They are wondering what in the hell kind of picks we're making. But you're right. I think this week is going to be different. And before we get to the picks, I just want to mention that the Overrated Experience Sports and Sports Betting Podcast is your podcast. It's kind of in between the sharp and the square. So it's kind of a squart podcast. We're using data, analytics to make our picks, but also, we're human. We get caught up in the whole, we love the main game at 4:25 or the 8 o'clock game, or get pissed off like everybody else does by losing, and a little bit of chasing going on. So we have those flaws. We're not perfect, but that's the kind of sports betting show you're going to listen to, and we're going to focus on the NFL. But we're not limited to the NFL. We also go into other items, whether it be this podcast, which are probably mostly NFL, and then, as the season goes on, as the year goes on, jump into other sports as well. So, Week 12 coming up. However, Week 13 is the Thanksgiving week. What kind of things are you looking forward to on American Thanksgiving? We're Canadian. We've already had a Thanksgiving. But are you pumped for those midweek games?
Honestly, not really, just because, at least on Sunday I'm able to watch the games. On the Thursday, I'll probably be working. So, if I have a day off, that's going to be awesome. But, I'm not American. I'm not going to have that holiday, sadly.
What I will tell you is you're a sucker. You suck, because I do have the day off. I make it a point to make that a day off for American Thanksgiving, to sit back, kick off at 12, watch the Lions and Packers go at it, and then watch the rest of the games here throughout the day. So, you are a sucker. Okay, I just want to let you know. I no offense, but I'm just pointing that out. Okay, so we got some news stories that are happening in the NFL. One of the weirder stories, and I'd like to get your take on this, is Brandon Ayuk, receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. Last season, or actually this season was the whole concept of his story was he wanted to be traded. There was talk he was going to go to New England, as an example, maybe Pittsburgh. And then he turned into, he signed a big contract with the 49ers. Was that last year or this year? I think it was last year, maybe. I can't remember. I think it was the previous season. He signs a big-time $100 million contract. And now the story breaks that Brandon Ayuk is going to lose his 2026 guarantees on his contract for not attending meetings and participating in team functions, and he's not even going to put a grievance with the union to kind of challenge the idea of losing those guarantees. And everything points that at some point he may be released, most likely next year. The 49ers would still take a bit of a cap hit of dead money because of the bonus money they paid out. But this is such a weird story that a guy turning away potentially a locked-in $24 million just to attend meetings. What do you make of this story? It's weird. It's odd. And could you think about in your life right now, if somebody said for your job, all you have to do is show up and you're locked in for $24 million, What would it take for you not to show up and be okay with getting rid of those guarantees?
For 24 million, I'll show up 10 hours early every day.
Would you show up? Would you show up naked to work?
Yeah. The only problem about the story, right, is it's a lot of speculation. I feel like nobody really knows what's going on. It's either something very serious or the guy wants to be released from the team and this is his strategy. So I'm not going to say too much more on it just because I don't know. It's all a guessing game in my opinion. But definitely very, very crazy to give up all that money for what? It's like no, we don't know.
I don't see he's supposed to come back at some point before the
Mhm.
playoffs. Is he an impactful player? Absolutely, absolutely. But let's say he's on the open market next year. Is somebody paying him $24 million? I don't see it.
Not
Maybe
24, but I like he's definitely worth something. Like if you said 15 million right now, that's kind of like a low ball, but I'd say he's definitely worth that. So, uh, maybe he's really unhappy with the team. He's willing to take that
uh,
that pay cut. But I know exactly what you're saying.
how unhappy could you be to not just wake up? He's already at the facility. My understanding, the way the story's playing out, he's at the facility. He's training, but he leaves before the rest of his teammates show up.
Mhm.
What? How? How separated can you be from the organization to not just bite your tongue, sit in a team meeting, and
Mhm.
collect or at least lock in that guarantee? I don't understand it. I don't know what advice he's getting. He's never going to make $24 million in the future. He's coming off a huge injury that could
Mhm.
happen again.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And maybe he's delusional that $24 million is going to happen for the rest of his life on a yearly basis. That ain't happening.
Mhm.
So I don't get it. But the 49ers, man, they could really use him right now. They could
Oh
really
yeah.
use him back. But just a weird story. Very odd. Now, I want to get your take on this. It's in the NFL, it is absolutely horrible to play on a Thursday night as a contender like the Buffalo Bills did and lose, and then you have 10 days for people, let's say even 3 days leading up to Sunday, for people to absolutely shit on you. Absolutely shit on you. So the Buffalo Bills lose to 23-19 to the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud out. Mills was in at quarterback. Allen was sacked 8 times. Did you watch? Like, I know you know the score. Did you watch this game at all?
No, sadly I couldn't watch. I was in bed by 9:30 for work, so I caught maybe a bit of the start, but that was it. But yeah, to hear that they got sacked or yeah, 8 times and lost that game, I was kind of blown away.
There was a hit. There was 2 hits that Josh Allen took. One was not even a sack. He got hit from behind, 2 yard gain. It looked more like a sack, but it wasn't counted as a sack. He grabs his left wrist. There's
Mhm.
2 times he grabbed his left
Yeah,
wrist where you thought, "Oh God, his season's over,"
yeah.
and then he got up, no problem.
Mhm.
He got hit 8 times. This Houston defense is deadly. And now there are calls for should Sean McDermott, head coach, be fired? Brady, the offensive coordinator, should they get rid of him? Is Josh Allen overrated? Are the Buffalo Bills, their window has closed to be a potential Super Bowl contender? I have a take on this. What are your thoughts on this idea that the window is closed and they should fire McDermott?
Here's my take. 2 weeks before this, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then they beat before that they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Any good team can lose to a bad team. For me, it's more of a fluke scenario. You're coming off of two big wins, and then you get a fluky loss on a short rest week. That's kind of my opinion of the matter. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well.
Well, you're going to get my thoughts on this. Is that I think the NFL is such a week to week panic or praise kind of scenario here. And the Buffalo Bills are just at the wrong place at the wrong time, losing on that Thursday night. Have they looked great? No. Would I go ahead and fire Sean McDermott at this point? Absolutely not. That's a move I believe that is an off-season move where you reboot and
Mhm.
restart. I think if they fade away and they don't at least make the AFC Championship, which the odds are lower and lower now that they're dipping and losing home field advantage. I say that's when you make the move. I don't think you make the move now. What do you replace him with? I don't think there's an alternate choice out there that is better than what they have. This idea that Josh Allen is declined is absolutely stupid,
Mm.
ridiculous. Do I believe that the Bills need to look at any scenario where if, let's say, a Brandon Ayuk, whatever reason, becomes available, which I don't think will be this year, but if a guy like that becomes available, you jump on him. Yes. Brandon Cooks, who got released, who wanted his release from the New Orleans Saints, receiver, he'd be a good fit in Buffalo.
Mhm.
They need weapons. They need to make moves, but absolutely a joke that people pile on. And I have a feeling that Josh Allen will take over. I think he won the MVP last year for a reason. I think we both know that when he's on fire, he's unstoppable,
Mhm.
right? He's unstoppable. So I think the demise of the Buffalo Bills is a little too early and a little too much when I hear these assholes and jerks online going all in at the Buffalo Bills. Window has closed. Don't write them off yet. They probably won't come back and knock off the Patriots, but don't rule that out either. So I feel that there's a little more faith in the Bills than I heard out there, and I feel like going through a table right now, just like Bills Mafia. But no,
And you
absolute
know what? Give
shit.
them credit. Give them credit. The last 3 weeks, doing this podcast with you, I've been on top of all the games. Houston's been overperforming with Mills in that quarterback. I don't know how they're doing it, but give them some credit as well. They're not a good team, but they're a hot team right now. So it's not like the Bills lost to nothing. You're always going to have the upset wins, and that's I more of a fluke loss than anything. You run that game 10 times, the Bills win 8 out of 10.
There you go. So Bills, don't write them off yet. They're not dead, but let's get a hold of ourselves, people. Story that I thought we would have been a great story to talk about. Joe Burrow was taking reps for the first team for the Bengals. The Bengals have ruled him out. He will not be playing this weekend, but at least some excitement potentially on Thursday where they take on the Ravens. Maybe Joey Burrows will be back, but are you excited to see Burrows come back and be a part of this season and not write it off and lose him for the entire season?
Oh, I'm very excited. Joe Burrow's a top five quarterback in the NFL when he plays. And, that's the difference between even wanting to turn the channel to that game. You see Joe Burrow on the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're like, oh, here's a contender. You get rid of him, and they're a bottom five team.
Yeah.
He makes such an impact that, for me personally, it's literally the difference of wanting to watch the game or not. You know what I mean? So, I probably won't be tuning in much to the Cincinnati game today, but I hope maybe I hope that they win so next week Burrow has more incentive to play.
Yeah, so right now they're 3-7. They take on the Patriots today. We'll talk about that
Oh.
game. But let's say they go 3-8. This is the perfect Cincinnati Bengals story. They'll
Mhm.
go 3-8 and have 6 games remaining, and they will probably run the table, go 5-1 or 6-0, and just miss the playoffs. They will be in the. They'll have some reason will catch on fire,
Mhm.
and but it will be too little, too late. Now, one last thing before we get into the games. Interesting developments as the season has progressed. I remember at the beginning of the season, we were talking about the LA Rams, and we were talking about Matthew Stafford. The question about Stafford in training camp was his back. He couldn't even participate in
Mhm.
preseason. Uh, Back was an issue. I thought for sure the back would creep up. Now he's a plus 125 to be the NFL MVP. Do you think that's justified? Is Matthew Stafford your MVP so far?
Uh, 100% he's my MVP. The last week we kind of really came to the realization, hey, this guy, he's not even at the top yet. Take a look at him if you're into MVP betting odds. I think he's a clear-cut favorite. The guy's done this before. He's run the table before, and I think there's an amazing chance he wins MVP. I would put that money down now if you could. I think it goes to you're not getting plus money after this week, I think.
Okay, so right now Matthew Stafford is plus 125. So, like you
Mhm.
stated, he is plus money, but that may fade as the season gets shorter and shorter to find out who the MVP is.
Mhm.
And when I look at who's behind him, there is nobody else that's having like a breakaway season. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
used to be Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and you're trying to you find out who's going to win that race. So Matthew Stafford is number one. Drake May, number two, plus 150. He's had a good
Oh
season,
yeah,
but
you got
I
to give
think
him
that
credit.
he's the new toy. He's the
Yeah.
new toy. So I just don't see him as an MVP though. Now, I think if we have a game, if we have a game,
Let me
okay,
make a guess who you're talking about right now.
yeah,
Obviously, it's Jonathan Taylor, right?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
So right now, if you like, so right now he's creeping, right?
Mhm.
He's plus 700.
Mhm.
So here's my thought right now. If you like Jonathan Taylor, the only value in this MVP betting race right now, to me, is Jonathan Taylor plus 700. Traditionally, it's very hard for a non-quarterback to win this award. Not, the question's not, it's out of the question. It's happened before, a la Adrian Peterson, etc. But today is the day against the Kansas City Chiefs where I think it makes or breaks Jonathan Taylor's MVP race. I don't believe they'll perform. We'll get into the Colts and Chiefs. But if he has a game, he has a Jonathan Taylor type of game today, I think he goes to the head of the line. So if bettors out there, your value on Jonathan Taylor at plus 700, and he goes off today, he's either going to go up the charts and be number one or slightly behind Matthew Stafford, or he'll fade away if he doesn't have a game today. Today is that day to make or break Jonathan Taylor. But if you're going to bet that horse, you bet him today before 1 o'clock and that kickoff in Arrowhead takes place. So Jonathan Taylor, if he's your boy, now is the only time he either fades away or goes to the front of the line. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. Stafford being a plus 125 here, I honestly still think that's amazing value. If say you replaced just the name and you turned Matthew Stafford to Josh Allen, and Josh Allen was putting up these numbers, I bet you any money this would be a minus 300, minus 400 line. The only concern I have is if Stafford gets hurt down the stretch. I think he's a lock for MVP if he stays healthy.
Wow.
This guy can do it. So, but I've already glazed Matthew Stafford enough, so I'll stop. Or should I say Jared Goff enough? No, I'm just kidding. For
Okay.
people that are listening.
And then just to also add to that, the Rams and Eagles are both plus 500 to win the Super Bowl. So the Rams have got some serious backing from the betting public
Yeah.
out there. Are they for real? Do you buy that?
I don't necessarily think they're the best team, but they've been performing like the best team. I'll give them the credit there. So I understand why people would think that. And you know what? They're a hell of an entertaining team as well. So
Okay. And then before we get into the games, we're going to be going through using FanDuel point spreads. Not to say that we're sponsored in any way. It's just the book we have. What book are you currently using? Is there any promotions that you're finding that are valuable to you? So I know you may not be using FanDuel for your personal plays. What book are you using and how's it going?
So I actually do use FanDuel. I'd say FanDuel is my favorite, but I do use three books. I use FanDuel, Bet365, and the Score Bet. If you're really looking to make an edge and make money, you're going on multiple accounts. They're all three are probably going to have different odds, probably very close, but you always want to go with the one giving you the best money. So it's good to be on multiple books and taking advantage of the numbers that you see.
No, that's fair because like right now I'm only using FanDuel and I can't preach enough where you do need multiple books to get the best odds you possibly can on the games you like. And like right now I'm using FanDuel. I will say there is a lot of positive for FanDuel at the moment. I'm not advocating for same game parlays and or you know those kind of promotions, but if you like to dabble in those same game parlays, they do provide a lot of profit boosts as long as you get to a plus in your betting. So, like right now, there's a 60%. You can bet up to $300
Yeah.
and have 60% profit boost. And I might parlay, let's say, for example, the Chiefs and let's go with the Jaguar, something like that. Like, you have
Yeah.
like that where you get the plus and
It
there's
has to be
some
a
good
yeah.
chance to cash in.
If I'm not mistaken, it has to be a three-leg parlay, but that's still a very great deal. I think by far right now of the three betting sites that I mentioned, FanDuel's by far the best, and not only by far the best, but very, very beginner friendly for, the people that want to, maybe you want to do a $5 parlay with a bunch of legs. This is the place to be, because you could easily get double the money. Sometimes they're offering those kind of things. So,
Yeah,
if you're a new bettor, FanDuel would be the first place to look.
yeah, and this again for you bettors out there, same game parlays are more of a benefit to the book. They want you to take these same game parlays. That's how they cash in. That's how they make their money. So don't kid yourself. These nice little profit boosts and all that stuff is to the advantage of the FanDuels and the DraftKings of the world. So I say that it's when it's fun, it's you bet it, but let's not kid ourselves. The advantage is always the book.
Mhm.
All right, and then again, just a couple notes. I know you want to shout out to the Raptors. Great start to the season. You want to go
Yeah,
there?
I just we don't talk enough about the Raptors on this show, but right now, I'd say they're easily the best team in Toronto, just as an organization. 11-5 start. I just wanted to mention that Brandon Ingram is looking amazing, and the Raptors got me fired up. So just wanted to do a little shout out for the Raptors.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, like for whatever reason, off the Blue Jays run, Raptors start, they mention it because it's like a fuck you to the Leafs. I really think
Yeah.
it's like a fuck you to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who got pasted by the Canadians last night. But I
Oh.
really think that people like you, like scumbag. I'm just kidding. People like you are mentioning the Raptors start and throwing in the best team in Toronto just to fucking nudge the Leafs. Like it just don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Hey, Raptors are the only team that have given me a championship in my lifetime, so it's something I'm never going to forget, and it's always going to be something that I'm grateful for. So,
What year did the Leafs last win?
80 years ago,
What year?
1964,
No, a little higher.
1962.
No, higher.
1960. I don't know. Give it to me.
Go, just kill it. Say it.
1965,
No, keep going.
1966.
No,
Or sorry, just tell me.
just go one more.
No,
You said 66.
1967.
67. Gotcha.
God, oh no, that. All right, now I know why
That's
you're
stupid.
making me do
Yeah,
it. All right,
exactly. There you
thanks
go.
for that.
All right, we're gonna get into the games now. After that stupidity I just brought up about 6-7, uh, we have the game where it bring me. New England heads into Cincinnati. I get those chills thinking of last year that how many suicide pools got destroyed because the Patriots walked into Cincinnati and lost. Sorry, the Patriots walked into Cincinnati and won with
Mhm.
Jacoby Brissett, and the Bengals destroyed many, including mine, are survivor pools. So the Patriots were 7-point favorites. I think with the news that Burrow was not coming back, pumped it up to 7.5. So the Patriots are 7.5. The over under 50.5. What do you like here?
You know what? I think you got to ride with the Patriots all day. The Cincinnati defense is just Swiss cheese, and there is some uncertainty around the Patriots, but this is a legit offense. Even if you don't believe in them, it's hard to make an argument that they're not at minimally at least the 10th best offense in football. And to go up against the worst defense, I think they're just going to keep putting up points. I think they win by 10-14 here, so I'm definitely rolling with the 7.5. You said right?
7.5.
Yeah,
Yep.
7.5. And then you know what? I think since he struggles to score, so I'm gonna take the under.
Okay, I took the over for the sake of the same thing as the Cincinnati's defense is absolutely horrid. I'm trying to think of a comparison. How would you sum up to a non-football person how the Cincinnati Bengals performance? How the Cincinnati D performs? I was trying to think of a good
Uh,
analogy.
like if I'm saying one word, I'll say weak. They get. We talked about last week how there's three big defenses to target, and actually, I don't know. Yeah, no, no. The Cincinnati Bengals are one of those defenses you even target in fantasy. So it's their offense is missing their best weapon in Joe Burrow by a mile. Or not a mile. Obviously, you got Jamar Chase there. Um, but it's a team that's hard to watch. It's a team that's hard to watch, and the Patriots. This is a destruction spot for the Patriots.
So would it be fair to say if I said that the Cincinnati D was comparable to a senior citizen's diaper? It leaks very bad. So there's a lot of
Jeez.
leakage going on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Patriots to cover as well. I'll take the over. You got the under. I'm also throwing in a prop here. I know Ramondre Stevenson is back, so the
Mhm.
Patriots backfield is going to have a little more depth, but I think Travion Henderson's 52 and a half over under for rushing yards is still low. I think that it's going to go over, and I believe that at this point, in the way that Travion Henderson has played over the last few games, that they are going to strategize and game plan to put the ball in the hands of Travion Henderson and make sure that he gets the touches and explosive plays. And I think he'll at least get 70, 80 yards in this game, in my opinion. So I take the over 52 and a half rushing yards minus 114. All right. Then we have Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Chicago. The Bears are 2.5 point favorites. The over under here is 46 and a half. It moved up from 44 and a half from a couple days ago. Now, the story here, and we don't have clarity just yet, is Aaron Rodgers going to play? I haven't seen if he's been ruled out. He has a left wrist issue. Is Mason Rudolph going to be in there? So we're making these plays based on not knowing 100% who's going to be quarterbacking for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll let you take a take on this.
Yeah, so if Aaron Rodgers is out today, we're uncertain, but Mason Rudolph is very familiar with the system. I think he's a good fill-in. Obviously I would want a healthy Rodgers over him, but would I want an injured Rodgers over him? I'm not sure. So I don't really mind which either way this way goes. You guys know I've been big on the Bears this season. I've been a big believer in the Bears, but I just think this is even though the Steelers are on the road and I think they're a way better home team. I think Steelers. This is a really tough game, but I'm going with the Steelers today with the points. And sorry, that over and under total was
It's moved from 44 and a half to 46 and a half.
yeah. Oh wow, that's a big movement. That will be the difference between me taking the under that movement and that line because if it was 2 points less, I'd be going the other way.
So which way are you going?
I'm going with the under.
Okay. I had the under at 44 and a half and now 46 and a half. I pretty much locked into that. And I do think that the Steelers can interchange Mason Rudolph in there. As you stated, he's very familiar with this offense, very familiar with this team after spending some time in Tennessee last year. But Mason Rudolph is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's take the Steelers to cover. I don't have as much faith as you do in regards to the Bears. So I'll take the Steelers and I'll take Mike Tomlin to outduel Ben Johnson on this one.
I want to make it clear. I have faith in the Bears' offense. Their defense is still needs a lot of work. And also, just a side bet. And I haven't looked at the line, but it's been a few weeks, and I got a feeling that DK Metcalf's going to get in the end zone. If anybody's looking for a touchdown bet this week,
Well, let's look at what it is to see.
yeah, sure.
So you're always
Just
thinking.
just a hunch.
All right, so let's receiving
If it's plus money, take it. That's what I'll say.
TD score prop. Let's see. DK Metcalf is plus 150 anytime, plus 850 for he's plus 150 anytime, plus 900 for first, plus 850 for last. So you like that 150?
Yeah, I'm talking about any time. So that's honestly, I think that's great value because I would have done it at plus 100. So to get it at plus 150, I'm licking my chops.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna write this down so we're gonna hold you accountable for this. Okay.
Sounds good. Add it to my bet total next week. I'm more than happy.
Okay. Anytime plus 150. All right. You're down plus 150. All right. So now a game that shouldn't be much of a contest. The Baltimore Ravens are 13.5 point favorites at home, and this is a string of big lines that we're going to talk about. 13.5 point favorites, minus 114, over the New York Football Jets, who are going to start Tyrod Taylor today. The over-under is 44.5. Do you believe that the Jets can come in here and upset the Baltimore Ravens?
Upset, hell no. But but to play within those 13.5 points, I'm gonna say honestly, Baltimore's come back and they're winning these games, but they're not blowing anybody out. I don't even know if they've won by double digits since Lamar Jackson's come back. And obviously the Jets are kind of they're a little pathetic, but maybe
Pathetic.
but this week I think they're a 10 point loss team. So I'm gonna go with those plus points today.
Okay, I also went with the plus points. I just do believe that Tyrod Taylor is sufficient enough to keep this game at least manageable.
Mhm.
And I don't see the Ravens crushing anybody. I think they they run the hell out of the ball today and get the victory and move on. So I kind of see the things the way you're doing. Also, the over under, I think they'll be over 44 and a half points. I think there'll be some points scored here. So what do you think about the over under?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the over as well.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on. One of now funny here is like some of our mutual people we know are left in a survivor pool, and their pick is going to be Seattle today. So Seattle heads into Tennessee. They were 13.5 point favorites, down to 12.5. Seahawks. Wow, your boy Sam Darnold had. I wanted to point this out. I want to call you out on
Oh,
this
this one
because
hurts.
he had what 4 interceptions last week against the Rams. He looked not so good when it came crunch time and pressure and the spotlight was on. He did not look good, which I expected. But your boy, is he still your boy?
He's still my boy. I still have a lot of faith in him. I chalked this up to one bad game. You know what? Get the 4 picks out of the way now. And don't throw them later. And he's good.
It's not. It's
I
not the
honestly,
flu. Yeah.
I think honestly, he comes. I think he comes out this week and he comes back in a big way. Before this week, he had a crazy game with like a 90% completion rate, and I think against the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, I'm not predicting a 90% completion rate, but I think it's going to be back up there to being really, really good. And I think he's going to come out hungry today. So even though it's a ton of points. I actually think the Seahawks really beat up on the Titans today, and they cover that spread.
Yeah, there's no way in my life I'm going to ever take this Tennessee Titan team. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, we talked about the Jets covering, which is scary enough that we had actually put our names behind the Jets. But this Tennessee Titan team's absolute trash right now. They're going through an organizational situation where they obviously fired their head coach and they got Mike McCoy in there as the interim coach and really thinking, where do I take this team? How do I not ruin Cam Ward, our first overall pick, which seems like they're doing. I don't know why this spread came down. I know there was talks about Kenneth Walker, running back for the Seahawks, being a little banged up. I also like the Seahawks to cover the 12.5. I would have said they would have covered the 13.5, which the line originally was. Over under 40.5. I think that line's a little too low. Usually the Seahawks do a good job when they're taking on inferior teams, just smashing
Yeah.
these teams, right? You've seen what they did to the Saints at home. So I think the smashing is going to happen here. And I think the Seahawks themselves could put up 40 points. So 40.5, I'll take the over. What do you think about the over under on this?
Yeah, give me the over as well. Like you said, they're going to really beat up on them. It's just, I guess, it comes down to, Tennessee. Are they going to be able to put up some points today? And that's why I'd be more comfortable in the covering of the spread over the total today. But that's the way I'm going to go with the over. So
Yeah, absolute punching bag is going to be the Tennessee Titans. Actually, it's going to be a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Giants, also 12.5 point dogs, head into Detroit to take on the Lions, who kind of got jobbed against the Eagles last week. I don't know if you watched any of that game, but they themselves missed many opportunities on fourth downs. It's Dan Campbell-esque where, we're fourth and goal. Yeah, we're going for it. And they didn't hit too much. Goff was a bit off, but there was a controversial pass interference late in that game where they would have got the ball back and had the opportunity to march down the field. So they kind of got jobbed there at the end. This Lions team, when you think they're going to take off, they kind of take a step back. A few weeks ago, they lose at home against the Vikings, which didn't see coming. And then, they held in there with Philadelphia, but they could have won this game if they executed some plays. And now they're at home against the Giants, who are going to start Jameson Winston once again. Jackson Dart out still with a concussion. Detroit, 12.5. I'm going to take the Giants to cover. I think they did enough against the Bear last week. Who the hell did they play last week? Who do the Giants have? They kept it close for a while.
I can't. I'm
Oh my
blanking on
God.
that.
Come on, I'm drawing a blank here. Hold on. We should be up to speed here on this. Like, God damn it. It's week 11. The Giants lost. Okay, Green Bay. Green Bay won by a touchdown like at MetLife Stadium. Winston, I think, has two good games in him before he falls off the rails. So this is game two. I think they'll keep it close, even though it's on the road. And I don't think the Lions blow them out. I think this game will go under 50 and a half. It moved up from 49 and a half to 50 and a half. But what do you think? So I got Giants covered, and I think the
Uh,
under. So what do you
Honestly,
think?
I think the Lions are going to absolutely crush them. And not only that, just I want to. One thing I would really like to look on this game as a better is Montgomery's totals. It's these games where I think they're going to run all over the Giants. They're going to lead by a lot. And these are the games where Montgomery's going to get a lot of usage. So I'd be looking at Montgomery's totals. I'm not really coming with anything specific here, just a little note. And I'm also, I think the Lions could up put honestly, I think the Lions are going to put up 40 points today. So obviously, I got
Well,
to put up the total. I don't think the Giants will be useless either. Either I think they'll put up 17 to 21. Give me the Lions all day. And also, I want to mention that Lions are known for being a team statistically that coming off a loss, they come back and destroy teams. So give me the Lions all day. I think it's going to be a massacre.
wow. Are you
And
like
and
money?
I think Montgomery and Gibbs both, easily both over 80 yards, maybe both over 100.
Really? Total
Yeah.
yards? Because Montgomery right now has
Total
rushing
yards.
yards of
Yeah, yeah, total
55 and a
yards, total
half.
yards.
And so 55 and a half for Montgomery, just rushing
Yeah, let's
68 and
say
a half.
here's what I'll say. 200 combined yards between the two of them easily. That's what I think's going to happen today. And that would be definitely a lot over the predicted total.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Just also a note for the Lions, Sam Laporta is out. It looks like he's
Yep.
done for the season.
Yeah.
That's a big
That's
loss.
a big
That's a
loss,
big
yeah.
loss. Like that's a guy you want in January in the playoffs for sure.
Oh,
You
for
know.
sure. He's recognized as easily a top 3 tight end in the league.
Yep. All right, we got a pretty interesting matchup. The Minnesota Vikings take on their divisional foes heading into Green Bay. Green Bay is a 6.5 point favorite. Uh, yeah, well, for some reason I think that the Minnesota Vikings show up when you don't think they will. Just like we talked about showing up in Detroit. I think they come in and cover here. Like Josh Jacobs is banged up for the Packers.
Mhm.
I don't know if he's playing or not. Let's just go in to see if he's on the line here, but he's not feeling too good. Let's make sure he's got a line. If he has, no, he's not even. I think he's out. Josh Jacobs might be out. He's not. There's no line for him. I know he was questionable.
Yep.
So that's a big loss for them. I like the over 41 and a half, and I like the Vikings to cover. Aaron Jones also has been a go-to, and I like his total yards over 72 and a half, passing and receiving and rushing. What's your take on this one?
I'm not. I've been really low on the Vikings this year. As you guys have known from the last 3 weeks, I kind of been shitting on the Vikings. And Green Bay, I view them as like a playoff team, but they're so beat up right now that I think I'm gonna go with you. It could be a victory by 3 points by Green Bay today, but I like the 6.5. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it honestly could go either way as well. Um, and so yeah, give me the Vikings. Not really. This is not my happiest bet of the day, but I'll take the Vikings. And the over was, did you say 49 and a half?
41 and a half.
Oh, sorry, 41 and a half. Yeah, give me the over on that.
Okay, it's locked in.
Locked in. Let's
Uh,
go.
yeah, there's also talk that Minnesota might be panicking a little bit, that
Mhm.
they kind of went all in with J.J. McCarthy as their quarterback, in the first round 2 years
Mhm.
ago. And maybe, buyer's remorse, maybe not
Yeah.
not feeling it. What do you think?
Uh, I don't know if you saw last week. Did you see Justin Jefferson's crash out as well? You never see him like that.
No, I didn't see that.
But
What
yeah,
is
he actually like he took his helmet. I'm pretty sure he like slammed his helmet in frustration and stuff like that. So honestly, that's another reason why I think they are going to come back. They got all these weapons. It's just I really think right now it comes down to quarterback play, and I don't know if they're going to fix the problem, but can they make the problem better? I think maybe there's a chance they make it good enough to beat Green Bay this week. So we'll really have to see. This is a big question mark for me. Not a confident bet, but definitely one I'll be tuning into to see what happens.
Yeah, if J.J. McCarthy wants to be successful, you got to put the ball in Jefferson's hands
Yeah.
as many times as
Yeah.
possible.
And even Addison. Addison's a very respectable number 2 receiver for a
Hmm.
team, and I know he's gotten like very very little usage this year. In fantasy, you can't even start him on your teams, which is just insane. So give us some average quarterback play, and the Vikings are a legit team.
Yeah, I mean, what that's why I like the receiving rushing total over 72.5 for Aaron Jones. If you cannot find Jefferson, you check down to
Yeah.
Aaron Jones. He can make things happen against his former team, the Packers.
I
Uh,
I would really like Jefferson totals today because I think they're going to be no. It's you know what, yeah, I like Jefferson totals today. If it's anything over 90 yards, I would take that because I think he either gets to 100 or he's right there in the 90s.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
let's see what he has then.
Let's take a look. You can put
Let's
me
take a
down.
look.
Let's see. Depending on what it is, I'll make it another official bet as well.
Well, I think you'll like this.
Let's hear
Justin
it.
Jefferson receiving yards 63 and a half.
Oh, take that all day. That's crazy. I don't understand. How does that make any
I didn't
sense?
even look at that. I didn't
I
even.
would say the over and under should be at least 85 yards. So yeah, give me that. That's a crazy find on live air. That is crazy. Take that. You can't tell me he's having under 70 yards today. That's just insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That the betting community has little faith in JJ McCarthy for sure.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's way too low for a guy like Justin
Hey,
Jefferson.
all I'm saying with Darnold, that total might have been 100. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to
Ah,
say.
you and your boy. All right, so we move on to maybe the game of the 1 o'clock hour. It's hard to think of another game in the 1 o'clock hour that beats this one. We have the Indianapolis Colts, the AFC juggernaut, heading into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs that are hanging on.
Mhm.
Loss in Denver last week. They're being written off again. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are being written off a little
Yeah.
too early. They are 3.5 point favorites, minus 104. This game has a 49.5 over under. I'll let you go first. I'll go ahead.
Yeah. So Kansas City Chiefs are one of those teams where you just like you have respect for them. You know what I mean? I still view Mahomes as the number one quarterback in the league. It almost feels like a trap game on the side of the Colts. Like it looks like good money. There's some juicy money there for a team that's been so good. 8-2 team, I think they are, something like that. But I just can't bring myself to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'd be a lot more comfortable if this was 3 instead of 3.5, so I get my money back there if it's a game for a field goal. But I got to still stay with the Kansas City Chiefs today. Definitely the game of the 1 o'clock hour. Going to be tuning into this one. But give me the Kansas City Chiefs just based on purely respect alone.
What about 49.5? What do you like there?
Give me an under.
Under?
Yeah,
Okay. Underwear? Get it.
give me an under. Yeah.
All right. So you like the Chiefs to cover the 3.5?
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I like it, but that's the way that I'm going.
All right, here's my take on this. I think we talked about the MVP race earlier. This is either a Jonathan Taylor breakout. Oh my God, I'm going to be the lead candidate here for MVP.
Mhm.
I'm gonna set my authority here in this game and tear up the Chiefs D because the respectability of if you tear up this D will put him on another level.
Mhm.
So that could happen, but I do believe at some point the Kansas City Chiefs draw a line in the sand. They go on a run. They, I don't think they necessarily need to win the division to make a run in the playoffs. They just need to make sure they're there. And Patty Mahomes can win anywhere, in my opinion. So he is the best quarterback in football. I don't think there's a question. I think we're overexposed with Patrick Mahomes, so everybody like kind of shits on him and doesn't want to see him move forward versus like respecting the fact that he is the man. I think it happens here. I think they cover the 3.5. This is where the dark side of Daniel Jones comes out. This is where I think we're going to see the situation where, oh yeah, all right, that's Daniel Jones. He will. I have a prediction here that there will be many times where he turns the ball over, strip sacked. He's caught for bad sacks. He's just loose with the ball. I just see this as a Daniel Jones kind of like, oh my God, I remember it's Daniel Jones kind
Mhm.
of scenario. And I do believe his passing yards will go under 241.5. I think he'll be under duress the whole game. I don't think he'll have an opportunity to set up as much as you think he will. So let's take the Chiefs to cover 3.5. I think this game will be under the 49.5. And Daniel Jones passing yards under 241.5. It's going to be an ugly, oh my God, I forgot I have Daniel Jones as my quarterback situation. What do you think of that? You like that?
Yeah, I like his unders as well.
Okay. And we have Shedeur Sanders in the 4 o'clock hour opens up his first career start. He came in last week in relief after, what's his name? Got concussed. The other rookie quarterback. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. But Shedeur Sanders makes his first start. The Vegas Raiders, who are an absolute shit show, are 3.5 point favorite over the Cleveland Browns. What do you think the over-under is in this game?
I'll say the over and under is give me 41 and a half.
36 and a half.
36 and a half. Oh,
36
that's
and a half. There is
brutal.
zero faith that this game will be at all entertaining
Yeah.
based on the betting line here. So the Browns, 3.5 point dogs. Shedeur Sanders, what do you think his over-under on passing yards is? Shedeur Sanders.
170.
158 and a half.
Damn.
158 and a half. There is no respect at all for
Yeah.
this Browns team, for this quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, current coach of the Colorado Buffaloes in the NCAA football. What's your take on this one?
This is a hard one. I think this one comes down to defense and offense. Browns, they have like Myles Garrett. You could argue, like, if you were a Browns fan and you argued to me, like, oh, Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in football, I think you'd be wrong, but I think you'd at least have an argument to make there. It's the Browns have a decent defense, and I think the Raiders have a decent offense. I think their O line's really shitty right now. But I'm going to go with the defense since I'm getting the 3.5 points. Give me the Browns. A couple turnovers today against Geno. Rookie quarterback, a lot of uncertainty there. It's not a confident bet, but that's the way I'm going to go. And I'm gonna take that over just because that total is so low. It's hard not to take a total like that. My prediction was 41 and a half, so I think it gets right around there. Can't really justify it going the other way now. Give me those.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If this podcast is called the Overrated Experience because we like overs, and I bypass a 36 and a half over under and take the under, then we're going brand change, name change, and that's not going to happen.
Weird call, but I think what's going to happen in this game is, there won't be a lot of offense, but there'll be turnovers to set up the teams in good offensive position. I think for some reason that's what's going to happen. And I think you easily get that total. Maybe not easily, but I think you get that total.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I'm going to take the over for sure. Also, potentially tease it where you get 6 points off and make it 30 and a half, which I think is even better, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm also going to take the Browns to cover. A guy like Myles Garrett, the Cleveland D is lights out. Better at home than they are on the road. But watching the Vegas Raiders, on offense,
yeah,
I got to believe that they're licking their chops to kind of like smash Geno Smith in that offensive line. This team is disgusting. I don't know if you watched any of this against the Cowboys. They're off. They're just bad. They're just bad.
Yeah.
And it's bad from on the field to off the field. I don't even think that the planning coming in with Pete Carroll, when we look back on Pete Carroll, we're going to remember him from his USC days where he's winning national championships to the Seattle Seahawks where he won a Super Bowl, got to 2 Super Bowls. But it's going to, I remember he coached the Raiders. There's nothing going to be remembered here. It's going to fade away. This is an absolutely shit organization at the moment. So I like the Browns to cover 3.5. And I'll take Shedeur Sanders over 158.5 passing yards.
I'm just curious if you agree with me. If somebody was dying on that hill that Myles Garrett was the best defensive player in football, would you call that person crazy? And also, second question, would you consider him top 3 defensive player?
I would tell the person to shut the fuck up and don't bring that up. I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
When you say it, when you're talking about it, I'm thinking, would I be ready to call him the number one guy? I was like, I don't know if I am, but I was kind of going through my head. Who else is out there? Is it TJ Watt? Is it who do you pick as if you were starting a team today and had to win a game, who's the number one defensive player you bring to your team?
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking like Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is he could be the biggest difference maker in my opinion. But after that, it might be Myles Garrett number 2. So,
Right.
I wouldn't call that person crazy just because we're one rank off. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, it's a good argument.
You know what? And then you got the guy Surtain from Denver. He could easily be considered the 2 guy too. But I'll probably put those 3 guys as the best defensive players in football at the moment, personally.
Okay. All right. we're going to move on to a game that I know you will dedicate your time to, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Arizona Cardinals here. I'm sure that will, you'll make sure you exclusively watch this one. The Jaguars are 2.5 point favorites coming off a smashing, which I
Hmm.
didn't see coming against the Chargers. They smoked them. And the Cardinals are fading away. They're insignificant. This is like such an insignificant team right now. Jacoby
Hmm.
Brissett was a nice story for a bit, but really they're dead on arrival. And 2.5 point dogs here. 47.5. I like the Jaguars to cover. Do
Yeah.
I love it? No, because they are. You can't predict what this Jaguars team does. They look great against the Chargers, but they probably look shit today against a team they should easily roll over. So I like them to cover the 2.5, but I cringe as I make that pick. And I like the under 47.5. I don't see this as a high scoring game. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I have to take the Jaguars. I've been really low on them this year. But going into the year, I would have thought maybe they're like a borderline wild card team. To see them beat up on the Chargers, honestly, was a big surprise for me too. And two and a half doesn't seem like a lot for them to go get. So give me the Chargers minus 2.5. I just want to give one extremely bright spot to the Cardinals. Trey McBride. McBride easily right now the number one tight end in football. I was looking at his numbers yesterday and I was kind of in disbelief. In fantasy for like 3 weeks in a row, he's almost at 30 points. I'm like, this guy's special. Maybe that's why they're competing in these games. They got the best tight end in football right now. But other than that, I don't enjoy watching the Cardinals. I don't really enjoy watching Jacksonville either. Jacksonville either. But give me Jacksonville.
47.5. What do you like there?
Uh, Give me the under. Give me the under. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game,
Okay.
even after Jacksonville went out and gassed. I give me the under.
Okay, so the question now is would you exclusively in the 4 o'clock window watch that Jacksonville Arizona game or decide, hey, let me watch that Atlanta New Orleans game? That's got a
Yeah.
lot riding on there. This is like insignificant, like I have to play this game kind of game. The Saints are 1.5 point favorites over the Falcons, who Penix is done for the year.
Hmm.
Kirk Cousins is in there. What's your take on this one?
I think I'm kind of surprised that Atlanta's not the favorite here. I'm not saying they should be a heavy favorite, maybe even a 1.5 favorite, but I think they should be the favorite here. And obviously, for that reason, I got to go in their direction. Kirk Cousins has been terrible his last handful of performances, but I've never been a Kirk Cousins hater per se. If you're calling him a quarterback, I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback or a good backup. Sorry. Uh, so yeah, uh, give me the Falcons today.
You want the Falcons today?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm doing that too. Anyway, I forgot to mention the previous game. Brian Thomas Jr., receiver for the Jaguars, is out.
Mhm.
Also, Marvin Harrison Jr. with an appendectomy is out another week for the Cardinals. Just
Mhm.
something to note. Drake London for the Falcons is out. So that's a big
That's a big
loss on
deal.
him.
That
That's
is
a
a
big
big
deal.
deal. Yeah.
Uh, Tyler Slow or Shu, what the hell his name is, the Saints quarterback there. He's been pretty solid, I would say.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm going to say the Saints win this. No, I'm going to change my vote. Screw
Really?
this.
Wow.
I'm changing. I'm going off
Yeah.
on
The
a.
Saints. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised either way this goes. There's a reason why the line is so close. Uh, but I want to believe that Atlanta can perform with a couple of their key guys here. I think they should be the favorite here, in my opinion. But that's just me.
Well, Atlanta as an organization right now is pretty fucked because the fact is they decided to go all in while they had Kirk Cousins to get
Mhm.
Michael Penix Jr. Now he has another ACL issue. So this
Mhm.
guy's had multiple ACL issues. Can I move forward with Michael Penix as my franchise quarterback for the next 4 to 5 years? Or if I finish so shit this year with my record, do
Yeah.
I start thinking franchise quarterback first round again?
Mhm.
They're in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Raheem Morris, like I don't get like I put some coaches into that recycle bin kind of coach, and Raheem Morris is that guy. He sucked in Tampa Bay. Raheem Morris he's a coordinator. He's not a head coach. You'll see him done, cooked. He'll be fired at the end of the year. And when they get serious about a coach, then maybe they will take. They look at the talent they have.
Yeah.
You know
They,
what I
they have a
mean?
lot of
Like
talent.
they have a lot of talent. Like you should be at least 500 with Bijan Robinson alone.
Yeah. Bijan. Yeah. They got a lot of talent there. Even Kyle Pitts, not the worst tight end in the world. Yeah, I'm surprised they are constantly underperforming of late,
Get
but I'm giving them a
they
chance this week. So
lose they lose back to back or season series against the Carolina Panthers. Piss away a lead last week and lose in overtime. And I don't know if you've seen the way overtime played out. Atlanta gets the ball first, drop ball, penalty, and they got a punt, and Carolina marches down the field and quickly get into no brainer field goal position because that Atlanta defense is absolutely shit.
yeah,
It's just a
but
disgusting display of an
if
organization right now.
if they can't beat the Saints today, then they're not the team that I thought, straight up. So we'll be back here next week, and we'll see if they really are just a complete loss of a team. If you're coming in as, first of all, you're already coming in as the underdog against the Saints. I don't know how that's possible, but if they actually lose this, all faith will be gone.
Okay, over unders 39.5. What do you like of this?
Give me the over on that. That's kind of low.
Okay. So here's my prediction. Mark it down. It's not a betting line. If the Saints beat the Falcons today, Raheem
Mhm.
Morris is relieved of his duties. Watch that. Head coach, Falcons, is let go today
Yeah,
or
I'll
tomorrow.
agree with that. I
But
think that
today's it.
happens too.
I think it happens after this game if they lose. One of the bigger games, probably the only game that you would go to your way to watch in the 4 o'clock hour. The Dallas Cowboys hosting the Eagles. They opened up as a 3.5 point dog, but
Hmm.
now it's gone to 3 points, so a field goal. And the over under is 47.5. Cowboys coming off a big victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Eagles coming off a big victory over the Lions. I am going to take the Cowboys in this one. I have not been overly impressed with the Eagles. What's impressive about the Eagles is their defense is, very annoying. I find and that's a compliment. They're a very annoying defense that even a guy like Jared Goff couldn't get comfortable. And that's the kind of way they play football, which is very effective. We've seen that in the Super Bowl. But I think for some reason, there's no reason why the Cowboys should win this game. But maybe it's selfish that the Cowboys win so that they head into Thursday on the Thanksgiving game to take on. Fuck, I forgot. Did they take the Chiefs on Thursday? Oh, let's double check. 1 second. Come on, what is going on? It's, week 13. Yeah, Dallas hosts the Chiefs on Thursday, so that'd be a wicked game. But I want the Cowboys to win. So this is more of a want
Yeah.
for the Cowboys to cover and win this game outright. And I like this game to go over 47.5. It's a shit show in Jerry's world.
Yeah.
When you get onto that field, I think the Eagles will open it up. If the Cowboys open up, it'll be chaos. It's going to be over 47.5. We're going to get some points. We're going to make some money. What do you say, you?
I'm going the other way on
Ah,
both bets. I'm going the other way on both bets. I think
you
the Eagles, I just
deflating.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the I look at the Eagles and maybe they're not, winning games in a sexy way, but they always have enough to get it done. It's a pretty close total here. I'm surprised it's not like 5.5. The Phillies defense is just so good. I gotta think they force a couple turnovers today. Give me those bets.
I'm going to, so I've got them down. So we look at this game a little differently. But you're totally right. There's not a team in football that I could say that the Eagles match up home or road or at home that they can't beat. Like
Yeah.
they could be the best team, most talented team in the NFL, but they've turned into the worst visual watching team,
Yeah.
in my opinion. It's
You,
just hard, very hard to watch the Eagles the way they play right now.
you know what the perfect example is for me? It's the Kansas City Chiefs last year. The Kansas City Chiefs were like barely winning games, but they ended up making it all the way to the Super Bowl, and then that's kind of when the wheels like really fell off in a way. But they kind of remind me of that team where it's like, they've kind of fallen out of their glory, but they're still the best. And even this game, like I don't think they're gonna, even them being the best team, you might think like, oh, then I'm gonna think they're gonna beat up on the Cowboys. No, I think they're gonna win by like 6. I think they're gonna win by 7. So I don't think they're gonna get this done in a destruction way where I think based on where Philly ranks and the Cowboys rank, it's a big disparity, but I think they cover the spread.
It's a fair play. It's just so hard to watch this team, and I scratch my head when I watch this offense. Like, how are they winning? Like, how are they
Hmm.
getting it done? They'll have a big play or two, explosive. Their defense will come up big. There'll be a turnover. But man, it's really hard to watch this offense, and
Yeah.
it's there's no flow whatsoever. But they get the job done, so I can't
Yeah.
argue with that. They at the end of the day, you win. That's it. That's the measurement. That's the bar.
Hmm.
So that's okay. We look at things differently. So maybe we'll have a side bet. Okay, the Cowboys and Eagles. Okay, how about that?
Okay.
All right. Now we look at the Sunday nighter, which is a pretty good matchup. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers visit the LA Rams. Rams opened up as 6.5 point favorites. It's up to 7. This over under is 49.5. The Bucks themselves, man, their stock has kind of gone down to me.
Hmm.
Some of their performances of late, they're not really a threat. So I'm not surprised this line went up to 7. This is the matchup of Baker who heads to LA, and you kind of look at Baker's career being rejuvenated with that short time ending the season a couple years ago when he joined the Rams. Basically, got off the plane, started one, which was I watched that game. It was an amazing performance. Really put Baker back on the map. And now, obviously, we look at Baker and have high regard for him and the way he plays. And wouldn't mind having Baker as our quarterback if we started a team today. He's a
Hmm.
go-getter. This Bucks team needs a big game here. They need an actually turn of events kind of game. I don't know if they're going to get it. I'm going to say they cover against the Rams. It's going to be a little tighter. In this game, I'm going to say over, but I'm not too confident on that. And I see the combined passing yards between Stafford and Mayfield. I just don't know why. I just think it's going to be 550.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be some passing yards here. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Honestly, kind of the opposite of last game. Agree with you on literally everything there. Literally, I don't. I think it's going to play out the exact same way. I don't have much
Yeah.
words. I don't.
Okay.
You covered exactly what I wanted to say. And you know, you guys know that I'm a big Bucks believer. I might not have the Buck curtains today, and I've been a little low on them lately. But you know, I think this is one of those games, kind of a feeling of a prediction. But it's either comes down to the fourth quarter in a tie game, or even overtime. So I think it's going to be a you know, a 3 point win or a 6 point win. So that those 7 extra points give me that big safety cushion that I want. You know, LA's been phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. And I also think, yeah, I think a lot of points are put up this game. You know, the Buccaneers get Chris Godwin back today, and to put a weapon like Chris Godwin in the hands of Baker Mayfield is no joke. You know, he might not be their Evans, their Mike Evans, but he's right there, kind of just a tad below him in my personal opinion. Some people agree he's even better. You know, so and they've been just absolutely decimated by injuries all season. You get just a little bit healthier, but I think that's enough to keep it within 6. So give me that +7 all day. I'm riding with you.
Okay. And then isn't there something about Tampa Bay you just want to see them successful for some reason?
Yeah,
You
you
just
know,
want to see them.
Baker Mayfield's one of the most entertaining quarterbacks to watch in football, in my opinion. And you know, I don't know, they got those entertaining superstars. You always want to tune in and see what they're doing. You know, I would even argue, you know, over even Philadelphia, you'd want to watch the Buccaneers personally. But that's just me. I'm a big Buccaneers guy. Let's roll.
Okay, let's roll. That's the wrong
Yeah.
guy. That guy's a, that let's roll guy and Russell Wilson can't even keep the backup position with the Giants. That's how
Yeah. Hey,
bad.
well,
That's how
that's
far
Let's
he's
Ride.
declined.
Isn't
Huh?
that Let's Ride? Isn't that Let's Ride?
What did you say? Let's
I
roll.
said
You
let's
said.
roll.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Now the Monday nighter is pretty interesting. I San Francisco hosts the Carolina Panthers, who are still in the
Ooh.
mix to
Yeah.
make a playoff run here. This line moved from 7 to 7.5 in favor of the 49ers, minus 102,
Wow.
49 and a half. Now, before we get to the picks here, interesting, you look at Bryce Young. He threw for 448 yards last week.
Hmm.
448
Oh,
yards last
yeah.
week against the Falcons, who should be just fooled as a franchise to let that happen.
If
He
I'm
didn't
not
even.
mistaken, sorry to cut you off. If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, his last like 3 weeks before that may have like combined for 500.
Well,
So it's
that's
like,
that's where I was going. So
oh,
he
really?
didn't throw for 200 yards.
Yeah,
The last time he was over 200 yards, much less 448, was in
yeah.
week 2.
Yeah.
He hasn't thrown for 200 fucking yards. And
Yeah.
then he
Oh
throws for
God.
448. Raheem Morris should have walked out, handed his resignation in, and said, guys, Bryce Young got me. He got me.
Bryce Young got me.
He got me. I can't let this
Yes.
happen. It's time to go. It's time for me to go into like pickleball or something. It gets terrible.
Yeah.
So Bryce Young comes in this game. Carolina, I have no idea when they come in and win and lose. They
Yeah.
they lose at home against New Orleans, but walk into Green Bay and win, walk into Atlanta and win. So they're 7.5-point dogs. The 49ers got Brock Purdy back. I was a little questioning about taking Mac Jones out when he was kind of they were riding a hot hand there. But Brock Purdy was lighting up the scoreboard last week. I'm going to get your take first. Where do you see
Yeah.
this on Monday night?
You know what? I've been pretty lucky with my Panthers predictions the last couple weeks. I've even told you guys that I'm a big fan of San Francisco. I think they're they're not a top team, but they're this kind of the second tier team. But I just think this is one of those weird moments again where Carolina somehow gets it done.
Oh,
They're at home. They're
no,
coming off
San
that big win.
Francisco's at home.
Oh, San Francisco's at home.
Yes, that's a big factor here.
That's
Yes.
that's a huge factor. Oh man, now I'm a little less certain.
Well,
Oh.
didn't you say you researched, heading into this
No,
week?
well, I
Okay.
researched his past performances. I just kind of had a little brain fart there,
Yeah.
but you know what? No, you know what? The home field advantage. You know what? No, I'll still stick with Carolina.
Ooh.
Uh, I think they're a wild card team this year, and I think San Francisco is like borderline wild card team. Uh, I think they'll be done first week of the playoffs, but I think they get there somehow, and I think they got to get this game to get there. So, give me Carolina this week. Did you say San Francisco, or you haven't made a pick?
I'll tell you what
Yeah,
I think
let's
this
hear what
second.
you have to say. This may be the hardest pick of the week.
Okay, 49.5. What do you think of the over under?
Give me the under.
Okay, yeah, I'm riding the under as well. But what I'll say to you is this is the team that is the opposite to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where you kind of like hope they win.
Mhm.
I hope this team fucking loses. I hate this team. I I I think they're a bad football team that keeps hanging around. It's like somebody shows up at a
Carolina.
party.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Carolina. They
yeah,
show up at a party. It's like, why are you here? Like,
yeah.
I didn't. Who invited this guy?
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
perfect way to say it.
that's the way I look at this team, and I don't want to be sitting here in January, waiting to bet on a Carolina Panther fucking playoff game. There's no way. So I
Yeah,
hope they lose. I hope they get smashed. I hope this playoff joke is put away and ended this week. I'm going to take the 49ers, but not
yeah,
surprised if the Carolina Panthers somehow walk in and outright win a 9-6 game that they have got themselves into against the 49ers. But I'll take the 49ers. I'll take the under, but I hate this team. I'll
yeah.
point that out.
I couldn't agree with you more. Even though I think they're gonna win, just based on those kind of like weird feelings that I have, I don't think anyone really wants to see them there.
No, just go away.
Yeah,
Like, go away.
and like I said, you think, oh, they get there, but they're not real. They'll get kicked out first week.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste
Yeah,
of time us even talking about the Carolina Panthers. They're a joke. Okay. Anyway, that ends the schedule here. I think we talked about if time permits this week, they will try to squeeze a Thanksgiving quick pod in before Sunday. Before Thursday, and then try to get another, obviously, one for Sunday. What are your final thoughts about this week? What we've discussed? Anything has popped to your mind as we've talked? Any betting tips? Any fantasy tips you want to point out?
not really. I want to say going forward, I like that we had a couple of like side bets that were not necessarily the spread or the total. So I think every week I'm going to try to come in with one or two of those. Maybe even looking at Justin Jefferson again going forward, if the totals are that low, for example. And then other than that, no advice. I think we covered mostly everything. Just want to give a couple shout outs. Just do a couple of people that are consistently listening, friends of mine. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Jellybean and my friend Yannick. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for everyone that still continues to watch. And those are my final thoughts.
All right. So, Jelly Bean and Yannick, welcome to the podcast. We will look forward to you as listeners forever. Now you're committed. You can't get out now that
I
now
don't
you
know if
had
I
a
want
shout
them to
out.
feel that pressure,
Oh,
but
that's a
I
lot of pressure.
appreciate you listening.
Okay. Yes, we do appreciate you listening. All right, so the Overrated Experience is done here today. The pleasure's all been yours. The Overrated Experience is over and out.
Awesome from Ajax, out.
All right, goodbye.